cycle in 2019. This split, like not this split, last split, they didn't do anything.
I guess I should have said maybe Sooning of 2020 spring.
Yeah.
That's
I think that could have worked.
Just old Sooning. Or even 2019 Sooning, that was meant to be a super team. We'll move forward. Aodi's going to play Hecarim again, apparently. Or he's just got the summoners on from last game. But we're going to first pick Ezreal yet again. EDG have also banned Bard.
We have no Yuumi is the bigger thing,
Ooh, that's fun.
This is actually kind of, I'd say red side I've seen internationally has tended to be Varus, Syndra, and Yuumi being that third one, which is pretty much a pseudo Ezreal ban in other regions. You don't see as much Ezreal without the Yuumi.
But we get to the point where we're not actually banning Yuumi in the first phase a lot here in the LPL.
Oh, we never ban Yuumi. I mean, a lot of teams even just don't pick Yuumi.
Yeah. They'd rather have like the Thresh support with the Ezreal or the Nautilus.
Or the Leona. We see a lot of Ezreal Leonas here.
Well, we'll have to do that this game. But remember, Meiko loves Nautilus so much.
I love, and I feel like a lot of people might hate this, but I love that we're getting to a point where draft is becoming so standard in the LPL for once, where it's like, you know what the first pick's going to be, then you know what the red side answer will be, right?
You get to actually cast.
One of the 80 carries, and then it's like, hey, so, it's going to be Syndra if it's open,
so
if not,
it'll be Trundle. Next?
Trundle.
Okay, there he is. What's next?
Trundle. Which actually, Trundle Galio, that's not the combo. That's not the play.
Would you go Jarvan here?
Yeah, go Jarvan here. I mean, that's obviously the setup, right? Galio, Jarvan, but at the same time, you have two immobile carries on the other side. I feel like Trundle would have been the play and sets up for a nice like front-to-back teamfight comp with Ezreal as the carry, but you could go Jarvan. We've seen a lot of people do this with Graves as well for some reason, but they'll find engage in other roles.
Get the double AD carry, but it is going to be the Jarvan Galio combination. This is going to be interesting because for SofM, an early jungler here or support?
There you go.
Well, SwordArt's yelling at the screen.
It's going to happen. He's going to lock it in. It's going to be the Thresh. 100% fits their comp. And, I mean, you get 3 S-tier picks on your side. I feel like as Sooning, you're probably... We might look over and see Chashao laughing on the screen, something like that.
No. We won it over. All right, there it is. Now, junglers to be banned out by EDG, I'm guessing. Tell me other direction here for Sooning and what you start looking at.
So for EDG with Graves already banned, you probably ban out the Lee Sin since SofM, and then, I mean, Trundle isn't particularly amazing against what EDG put together, but it's still very strong in the 1v1 against the Jarvan, despite the fact that we saw Jarvan bully out Trundle in the last game. So, but I would expect to see a Lee Sin ban if they plan on banning out junglers. It's SofM.
SofM also plays, well, the Trundle going at the very least.
Trundle, yep.
So if it's not the Lee Sin, he also plays Rek'Sai. It plays set jungle too, and did quite a lot towards the end of 2020.
Makes you wonder if Sooning will ban out the set here. That's another pair we've seen with the Ezreal.
Meiko's also flexed this bot.
It does fit their comp, though.
Meiko's flexed the Galio bot before.
True.
So it doesn't have to be a mid lane.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be kind of like pointless, right? You have the Galio, which does neutralize that mid lane matchup. You're just going to farm. You're obviously a very good champion against AP mages, so you're going to do quite fine. And then the fact you can answer plays on both sides of the map since you're a mid laner, as compared to if you're a support where, right, it's a lot harder. You have to make that trek further to influence the whole map.
Well, Sooning are thinking that it is going to be Galio towards the mid lane at the very least. And at this point, banning away the Karma rather than the set means it is available. An Olaf ban also means that the Lee Sin you're talking about is available.
I mean, SofM's played it twice this split, so it's also just an SofM signature for a long time. The Karma ban is interesting. It would guarantee EDG bot lane prio, but then you're all-inning on an Ezreal. You don't have a carry jungler since you'd already drafted the Jarvan, and Aodi not this player we think of to play something like a Fiora or Camille, you know, like another hyper carry in the top lane that could take advantage of it.
You will get that last pick towards the top side to finish off the game, though, here for Sooning. I am curious. I know there's going to be a support locked in, but what is going to be the top laner for Aodi?
We know Meiko's going to go for the Nautilus. Yeah. You talked about this last draft that this was almost all he played in spring. Meiko is the support who stays on a very small, effective champion pool, which, you know, if that's what helps with the shot calling of the team, you know, power to him. But I agree with you. Where are we going to see Aodi go with a top laner? You've obviously drafted this team composition that really wants to run forward, so I would expect some kind of engage. And, you know, that would fit some kind of engage. You also have a lot of immobile carries on the side of Sooning, so anything that could punish that.
That's a sick wombo with Ornn, I will just add. Galio, Jarvan.
You remember game 1 where they banned it themselves in first rotation? We said they've been banning it every game?
Yeah.
It just makes you wonder, what's changed? What's clicked? Were they saving this for something? Because, yeah, very big mental shift. But also, all of your eggs are in the hope basket. Of course, we've seen many times with Teachers of Miles Galio pop off early and get so fed he is actually a damage threat on the Galio itself.
As Sylas top instead.
We've seen this as an answer to Ornn in the past, right?
The Shy's done this quite a lot.
Yep, we've seen our Knight has not had good times with this matchup himself.
Oh no, that was the Game 5 versus Zoom,
yeah,
right?
that was Game 5 versus Zoom. So he also did it the other day. It was the last TS game where I was casting.
But he did perform well on that one.
He did, but he also did dive it in a bot tier 2 and end up getting solo killed.
Yeah, but I mean, you get away with that when you're Sylas, right?
Point is, you're going to get a free laning phase. Early levels, as always, once Ornn hits that level 3 mark, is quite strong in the trades, but once you do hit that level 6, you do pick up your first item, you know, you're gonna feel great, and you're also serving as a primary engage in a sense too, since you can take that call of the Forge God.
Can I just ask you, is this just a super easy comp from EDG? Are we just all-inning, team fighting, skirmishing the works?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you have 4 bruisers and an Ezreal. Well, 4 bruiser tanks. Mostly tanks, I guess, but Jarvan the bruiser.
And then
tank.
you're going to explain suiting to me because it's a little bit more difficult than that.
Yeah, it's a lot more of a pick comp in a sense, since you do have like the early game jungler in the Rek'Sai along with the, again, tons of single targets you see on their side. We'll be able to team fight what EDG has, and I feel like we actually saw the composition EDG's running out of Suning a lot in spring, right? This like 4 protect 1 sort of composition. And it looked like once we got to the late game, it never had enough damage to stand up to these multiple threat compositions. So I want to see how it's actually going to pan out here today. And even swapped, right? EDG are doing it, and Suning are the ones that have multiple damage threats.
It's kind of funny because, you know, in a lot of those compositions, especially when you're going up against something that you called like a pick comp, the Ezreal dies, you're screwed. But
yeah, exactly. It's just over.
I will say, you know what we saw? When that composition goes forward, the tanks still, if they get an early lead, do a bit of work. Do you remember LGD in spring last split? Remember the LGD comp that was Maokai Ornn, the double tank?
Oh, yeah. I wasn't casting it, but I remember watching it thinking, this is not
That
good.
was the best comp.
But it just snowballed so hard early game, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
That could happen with any comp. Anyone could just run into you, and you get so far ahead early game that your comp just wins.
I mean, it was one of my favorite. But let's welcome you to something.
Look at IG games.
Hey, also true. I mean, that doesn't make sense, though.
That's my point.
Well, all right. We're closing this one off. EDG and Suiting has been an extravaganza.
It's been an experience.
Oh, man. And we got it early in the split. All righty. Welcome back to Summoner's Rift. Would you like to know what my curiosity is? I would say the comment on Sylas, but the unsealed spellbook, the 2 unsealed spellbooks on EDG. Let me just say, if they're in front of an objective and both those guys have smite, you got 3 of them.
Yeah, but the comment on Syndra, actually, this is what we were gearing more towards at the end of spring last week, if you remember. It was kind of the go-to rune, obviously allows for a lot of punishment in the laning phase, which kind of surprising she doesn't feel like she needs the phase rush. When you just look at the amount of kind of engage that EDG's composition has, just the safety that rune can give you in trying to outplay and maneuver in these skirmishes.
I guess the comment also guaranteed as well with Scatter the Wolf.
I do also feel like you're at the point where with the Call of the Forge God, Nautilus Ultimate, and Cataclysm coming out from Jarvan, if they want to lock you down, you are just locked down.
You are just dead,
you're
right?
just, you know, you're stuck.
Fair.
You might not be dead, but you're stuck for sure.
At the very least, Shield of Duran's going to be negated with the cleanse taken into this matchup as well through the mid lane. I'm looking across other summoners. It's Exhaust first, Ignite for the supports.
So with him taking Comet and him also having a Rek'Sai jungle, you know, pretty much the most dominant early game jungler with Elise, we want to see a lot with the mid jungle 2v2. We want to see him punish this Galio.
Looking towards Angel and SofM for interaction then. He's on the blue side for now, while we're just seeing trades back and forth in the bottom lane. Ignore those for now, not until SwordArt or Meiko gets a dredge line / death sentence. But we will continue to track SofM versus Jiejie. Jiejie is up towards his blue buff right now. So junglers on opposite sides of the map.
And once again, Jiejie ultimately will be able to take topside scuttle, but we'll start pathing towards bot after that, so we'll end his clear towards the bot side just in case any shenanigans do happen.
Magic with this shield now acquired with Shield of Duran for Scout. And Jiejie now here. Ping's going for the invade. Yeah, get
He
that.
does have full prio in both top and mid, but the wave actually neutral right now in mid, so Angel can be here, but he has no mana.
But the Tremor Sense will spot out Jiejie. SofM gets the smite down and secures Big Chicken. That's a win.
Yes, it is. And doesn't even matter that Angel has no mana. Ooh, and they actually probably going to posture for the Scuttle because SwordArt's on his way up.
Ward's going to be dropped down. The Tremor Sense again. Angel moves into River. Hits 4 first. So the extra point on Q
and this is so great from SwordArt. He was a player I was really criticizing heavily in Spring because of how good he's always traditionally been, and he was very mediocre in Spring, right? He wasn't necessarily bad, but he also wasn't good. He didn't look like the SwordArt that has so much experience and was one of the best players on that Flash Wolves roster.
The LMS players came over, and the only one that's been good from the start, I'll say, is Casa. Right? Because while we are in the larger discussion of like SwordArt performance, he and Maple didn't look great. Maple less so, looked absolutely horrible.
I don't think SwordArt ever looked bad on that Suning roster. No. It looked like him and SMLZ really defined an identity.
As Bin looking for something on Aodi. Bellows Breath into the clapping. Corrupting Potion, Kingslayer, the Chain Lash. Comes close.
Yeah, and this is kind of showing... You know, typically you'd even see in this matchup a lot of Ornns do opt into Grasp and opt into those strong trades, but you'd already pointed out the Unsealed Spellbook earlier, so going to have a lot less trading power, going to be a lot more about the utility and kind of safety it brings later on. He even already bought that Null Magic Mantle. Yep, that's what it's called. So, nothing happening there, but you would expect that he shouldn't be having that rough of a time. He is still even in CS, and I expect he has a bigger wave to pick up against Bin from how the lane state's gone.
You often talk about the Ornns in lane optimizing for the team fighting and the skirmishing rather than anything else.
We've never seen an Ornn struggle this much in the laning phase against Sylas.
Oh, hang on, flag and drag, flash for flash. SofM was spotted out going for the invade. Junglers trade summoner spells, but he does still take away a camp. He's got about 2 camp lead now over Jiejie.
Yep, and we just got some little cool Chinese text, which I wish I knew what it said because it said the word super, I think.
Hey, that's what this series has been. You know what? I'll be there. Give me a year. It's grabbing a nice butt. The problem is, you got yourself the Titan's Wrath. As Hope has gone too far forward. Graviton available again. He flashes away. The Ignite's down. He'll survive. Only just.
Oh, wow.
As he looks to poke them away. Graviton once again. huanfeng needs the active as Death Sentence forces the flash. EDG's bottom lane are now summonerless.
Yeah, huanfeng and SwordArt playing so well. If huanfeng maybe had predicted some damage a little better, maybe just not even wanting to burn the flash at the risk that the enemy has a Jarvan, right? Yep. But still, getting all those summoners just feels so worth for the side of Suning, which I don't know why I'm saying that. Obviously, getting summoners is worth.
But just having the gumption in lane, you know, show them you're the bigger, the bigger boys.
Just putting it all on the table. And,
yeah,
you know.
okay, yeah, exactly like that. And because of that trade, I mean, SofM can come down here. Control Ward means, yep, no spotting out of vision. And Suning to start off the Dragon of this game, that's 10%. Straight off these early ultimates.
And Scout is level 6 now, so this is where we want to start seeing proactive plays being made by EDG.
But it's heading up towards the top side of the map, while bottom side gets turret plating. Jiejie is level 4 here on the Jarvan, still level behind of SofM. He was hovering around here, but spotted out by a ward, while SofM has Smite. Never fear. He picks up the first dragon, rolls it into Ocean, and the lead continues here in the jungle in Suning.
And despite the fact that Suning don't really have a true front line, I much prefer their comp the longer this game goes because, again, how are you going to kill all of Suning? Where is your damage?
Yeah.
You have so much sustain coming out from both Sylas and Aphelios as well. Even if someone like SofM goes down, it doesn't feel like too big of a loss. You have the Lantern in there for survivability, of the box to try and keep some room between you and those tanks as well. Like, realistically, even if Jiejie and Scout like jump onto, let's say, huanfeng or Angel in the backline, and Hope can't follow up, you might just be able to kill them from lack of damage.
That's true. That's very, very true. It looks difficult, and you know, you think about Bin as well and how Sylas operates. For Hope, that's going to be a massive threat.
And obviously, with saying lack of damage, we're talking about late game in that scenario.
Yes.
Of course, if we go into, you know, a first Dragon or Herald fight, they will have the damage to take any of them down. So that's why for EDG, we want to see them make some plays, but...
You're also forgetting that Ornn is an assassin. so
yes, I am.
you can't just call him a tank, you know? He's multi-faced. Mage, assassin, bruiser, fighter, marksman.
Ultimately, though, we saw Angel take the Comet, has a very aggressive ganking jungler. We don't see any sort of lead coming out from the mid lane, but I guess ultimately it doesn't mean too much if we are seeing in the later game fights, they should come out ahead anyway.
He's kept up even with CS. He's only 5 behind at this point. Suning also had themselves a 500 gold lead. That'd be through that bottom side is what we just saw is Meiko and Jiejie partnering up towards a Rift Herald top side. EDG making the move first. A control ward was placed down, so pings are being spammed, but that's only by EDG. Well, look at where SwordArt and Angel are.
Yeah, that's what I find interesting is that they give up Herald. I'm sure they know Herald's gone, but they don't opt into trying to set anything up. We saw their bot lane reset, so they weren't really in a position to do anything. We don't even see them aggressively pushing into the bottom side jungle for vision. They just kind of accepted nothing. But, so here's the vision push now.
SofM feels like he's more interested in the kill or the dive.
So huanfeng is pushing a wave.
But it won't be that quick. I mean, he doesn't have the Infernal available.
It is going to be two waves, so they will be able to go for a dive.
But True Shot Barrage available. Do you risk it?
Scout and Audi both also have teleport.
Oh, okay. More importantly said. All right.
Yeah, I think it's too risky.
Well, Scout moving down here for the hero's entrance. Jiejie closely behind them. And yep, he's backing away. It will just be the bit of turret plating with the threat. So you still get more gold onto huanfeng, but everything is just denied.
And we did see what huanfeng can do on this Aphelios. This is actually 7th Aphelios game this split. He is not opted into playing the Ezreal, and they ban out Kalista every game. They don't like to play Kalista bot lane for some reason.
Sorry, that's just to clear the wave. Aphelios is a good champion, you know?
Yes, he is.
Not really in make, but he is a good champion.
Well, we're back to game 1 hysterics.
Hey, we are. Why are we? Oh, because it's slow. Is the LCK still going? I mean, here it is.
That's a good question.
Are our viewers, have we got the crossover? They move out of LCK, they think, hey, this will be good. There'll be a lot more blood in this.
You know what would be hilarious if it kind of is reverse and the LCK, let's say there's tons of action and the LCK fans are like, no, we don't want this, and they tune into the LPL and find this game.
They want to be
super
slower.
excited and, vice versa.
To be fair, though, the Sandbox in Afrika, the one that started before the LPL started today, was actually quite bloody for an LCK. They had 12 kills in 20 minutes. That's insanity. And also shout out to Mystic and Ben, the bottom lane of Afrika.
And Spirit, who was, we have a lot
WE reunited.
We have a lot of ex-LPL players over there.
That was one of the first teams I actually became a fan of in the LPL, fun fact, where I saw WE at Worlds in 2017, and I was a huge fan of 957 as I was playing top lane at the time.
I was the first LPL team I was a fan of was Game Talents.
Oh, really?
Just because.
The Gimgoon roster, right?
Yeah, Gimgoon, Republic. I don't know why. Republic used to be on one of my teams. Very lane-dominant, solo-Q-esque players.
Yeah.
I'm just a fan of that style. That's why I love people who play Draven, right?
True. Like huanfeng.
Exactly.
But we haven't seen it yet.
But we haven't seen it, so it actually doesn't matter.
I'm kind of waiting for the series where huanfeng versus Jackie Love. The two Draven mains in the league.
And neither are going to pick it or acknowledge its existence.
I think Jackie Love in that team is more likely to pick it than huanfeng, for sure.
It's sad, too, because, again, huanfeng picked it last split.
Yeah.
It just wasn't on an English casting day.
Always the case, right?
He also played Jhin, though, and that was on one of our days.
But I think we're at a point where we could be grateful for our pocket pick players. As Scout is going to get caught out here. Here comes the engage. 1 versus 2. Smited down. Slowed on down. Unleashed on down. For an 11-minute first blood.
It took 12 minutes, but we saw Syndra Rek'Sai in action.
Here we did. The mid 2v2 comes alive in front of the Dragon as well. They're 1,500 gold up, and Lyric, you have to say that Suning sitting pretty at this point.
It's disappointing from OMG where we saw them draft this sort of Galio composition. They actually did it with the Graves, which we mentioned in Champ Select, and they were setting up aggressive plays around the map. We're not seeing that this time.
EDG sitting on their hands a little bit. As Carol's going to be using it. Okay, teleport. Ignore me. Scouts come in pretty fast, and that wave clear means that EDG are going to get some gold over to this mid lane Galio.
Ben is going to be here first, so EDG not actually going to really be able to push for anything. They can even look for a play here. I guess they don't know that Audi's back top yet. He's only just showing on the wave.
All right. Well, gold does go over. Thumbs go up from huanfeng as well. But Suning still maintain that 1k gold lead they achieved with the first blood. They're the very late first blood at that. And that goes on to Angel on the Syndra. Lost Chapter was already picked up. I think he's backing soon, but this was the pick.
Just a great play. They knew that EDG were getting prio through bot, so they expected Scout to walk into Dragon Pit as well. Great use of vision and vision denial, and they have a ton of CC, a ton of damage. SofM picked this Rek'Sai, which, again, is the de facto, like, king of pretty much early game ganking with your tunnels. You have 3 lanes with lane setup, and I guess, you know, top is an enemy Ornn, so he's hard to kill. Enemy has a bot lane, Ezreal also hard to kill, but still, we've really seen no attempts anywhere.
But do you remember what SofM was about on Snake, on LNG?
Yes, I do.
You know, he didn't gank much.
Speaking of favorite LPL teams, actually, I loved that original Snake roster, done with, like, Ella, Baka, all those people.
Wow, that's
Crystal. Crystal's Draven. That's
like
why.
2015, 2016.
I want to say so. All the kind of early LMS years blend together.
Finally, Hero's entrance. I think Bin could be dead. Nice little shielded Duran. Justice punch. Overkill from Aodi. He says, send it up to the wave. I'm going top again.
A kill happens. We have some action, and it doesn't translate into any neutral objectives, so ultimately kind of a mute point. But ultimately, Bin is going to lose out on some CS and some experience.
That's horrible.
That's a win.
And SofM is now behind enemy lines.
Yes, he is.
Hope has been spotted out, but can this Rek'Sai 1v1 in Ezreal? Of course he can. He's a Rek'Sai. He has flash. But heal available for Hope.
He's very bursty at this point. You're right. Hope does have both summoners up, so you can at least guarantee summoners, but huanfeng is there.
Okay, back to farming. SofM's been away from...
Oh!
He's doubled in. This is this is like a Ning play, except for the bottom lane. Flash forward onto Hope. He's Arcane Shift away. The ultimate True Shot Barrage as well. And down will go Hope.
The Moonlight Vigil was just thrown for, like...
Added effect, right?
Yeah. Some, like, emotional support.
To be fair, though, not everything was super clean there anyway.
Didn't matter. They did the damage needed. They got the kill.
That's right.
EDG are going to finally get a neutral objective, though. But only in response to Suning showing on the map, so it's a reactive play. And ultimately, Suning do have a tower regardless, so ultimately, at best, you're just going to equalize the turret score.
You know what the cool thing is about Aphelios?
What is it?
Eventually, they have another champion to add because of him, right? Because of the lore. Because, you know, his sister's the one that throws him weapons. She's locked in like an offshore facility. I don't know what it's called, but but she gives him the weapons. So eventually, she's gonna, you know, like Senna out of the land.
An offshore facility.
I don't know what to call it.
Okay, keep going.
But eventually, she'll be able to come into the game. Because it's like the Senna thing, right? Like the lore of Lucian's wife.
If the lore is her giving Aphelios weapons, what could her abilities possibly
I don't know.
be?
She'd leave someone else in there. She traps like an enemy
She's
in there.
like Rakan. She's like a Zyra Rakan combo, but instead you have more guns that you can give Aphelios. So.
He gets 10. He gets 10 instead.
But he can hold 2 of them at the same time.
Oh my god,
if she is on the Rift.
Oh, that's horrible. Can you imagine he gets like a dash as well when she's on the Rift? Oh no.
You know, I just want to point out, I would love if Riot acknowledged the meme and then made her lore that, like, she'd been in prison for, like, 200 years.
In an offshore facility?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Hiding her income? Yeah. Well, this is a slow game, and I'm not a fan of it, but that's the way League of Legends goes sometimes.
Whoa. We have a bunch of big Wombo combo ultimates. We have a dragon coming up in 17 seconds.
It's 3 kills.
This is still called the LPL. You can see it there in the bottom left corner of your screen. There will be a team fight here.
I hope you're right. We've got 5 seconds till the dragon. And Suning are posturing. EDG are posturing. Herald mid to divert the attention as SofM, he's got his muscles up. And they almost found the muscling of Jiejie getting at half health. The ultimate available by SofM, but he doesn't want to take it. While Herald will still get the charge here. And the gold will still go over. EDG get there first.
And EDG are recalling. EDG don't care about any dragons right now. There are no team fights.
That's it. What did you just tell me?
Oh, God.
Why do I listen?
Well, Suning one Drake away from the Mountain Soul. They don't have too many resistances for these Mountain Drakes to buff up. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. A shield's going to be great, especially against a one-dimensional composition like what EDG have put together.
Well, Forge God used good little dodge away. Here comes the real one, but the depth charge means he's in place. He gets a double knock-up. He's in a bouncy castle. True Shot Barrage, bit of healing. But thanks to the Kingslayer, Bin might survive until he doesn't. And Hope picks up the kill there. So EDG making magic happen in this top side. They'll also get the turret and give more gold over to Hope.
Give more gold, but still losing in gold, losing in dragons, and they're gonna lose another turret as well.
What a shame. And look, SofM's farming again. Right. What else would you do at this point? You know, nothing really happening on the map. Pick up more farm. I know if Ender, obviously, he watches a bit of LPL, he comes into the chat, so shout out to him. He'd be happy if Rek'Sai built that Infinity Edge third.
Ultimately, when you ask, what do you do now? I'll answer that on a serious note. For some reason, despite how this game is going.
You don't want to talk about Infinity Edge, Rek'Sai? Okay. Continue.
It's so hard for EDG's composition because ultimately we need to see them try and force some sort of proactive play, but without a neutral up on the map, Suning actually don't have to group up anywhere as of yet. And Bin will have pressure in a side lane versus either carry from EDG. So you can try to go for some kind of play like this where you have Jiejie Shadow with Scout so he can get pressure up against Angel and then rotate over to mid and force a numbers advantage play with the Galio ultimate.
He's been sitting up for quite a while now as well. Why are you talking about Bin as well? He may be 0 and 2, but there's a lot of times we've seen the Sylas top not go well against the Ornn or just simply get bullied, get exposed.
This was nothing to do with the Ornn though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So keep going. I'm sorry.
I know, I was going to say, he's on towards his second item, so Bin not in the worst position.
And then, again, he'll still do fine in that isolated 1v1. Maybe he won't kill Aodi necessarily because of his items, but right now just playing defensively because of the fact that Suning have cut the map and they're all playing around Angel. And, of course, you look at your mini-map and you can see Jiejie and Meiko actually trying to wrap around.
They're going to find him. It's a good dodge away with the Abscond Duck. He even flushes from the dredge line. Nicely done, while Angel picks up solo turret gold, so I'd say at this point the summoner for the pressure might be worth.
Overall, just good to see from EDG not throwing out both of their CCs at the same time, so, you know, Bin could have gotten double value from that Abscond Abduct. As
it's TP time, EDG have found a play, the triple flash away, the bouncy castle re-engaged, and EDG, they're here to stay. That's 2 dead from Suning. They pull the trigger finally. This game gets interesting.
We're finally going to see something happen. I'm not actually quite sure how that pick started off, but it doesn't matter how it started off.
Good.
EDG got it. Now they should be able to secure a Baron, but they don't want to risk a 50-50 with SofM.
Very true. It's 3 versus 5 for only 10 more seconds though until SwordArt, and then eventually huanfeng comes up as well. Level 11 on the junglers. Scout of the week in the pit's great, but they need some follow-up as Bin goes in alone. EDG look for the turn. They continue while SofM waiting patiently. Dodges away from the dredge line. Nice. From Bin, EDG will get forced off, and I guess we stop right there.
That's a win for Suning though, right? 3v5, you force the enemy off fair, and so once again, EDG finding kills, not able to turn it into an objective, and let's see how this one started off. So actually just huanfeng overextended in the bot lane, but still notice on the minimap, it actually took Scout giving up waves in topside, so not too expected of a play if you are the side of Suning, and ultimately the fact that you got them off Baron means you lose nothing.
I will say the confidence to pull the teleport, Meiko flashing over the wall, everything lands. I mean, that was the cleanest play we've seen in this series.
It was one of the only plays we've seen in this series.
That is also very true. But at least we got to see something. Now, Baron was pulled off, as you mentioned, and still sitting there. EDG are heading up towards it to clear vision. Notice that Aodi, the level 14 Ornn, has a smite. This is one of the bonuses that level 14 smite is greater than SofM's.
Yes, it is. And like you said, you pointed out this at the beginning of the game of how impactful this could be around neutral objectives when theoretically you can have 3 smites on the side of EDG. That can also mind game you in a way where you're calling what, you know, value you're going to smite at, and if you don't coordinate it well, it could open up a small window. It shouldn't. Like, it should be almost theoretically
do it all
possible,
3 at once,
but, you know.
Bin also has Call the Forge God, just as a stolen ulti there for the Sylas. EDG have priority around the mountain, though, now.
So, I'm going to call it this time, Hysterics.
What? Fight?
We are going to see a team fight.
Ooh,
and for Suning, right, the name of the game is Get On to Hope. I do want to see, though, if they, even if they can, if they do just win a fight from lack of damage. But look at Jiejie. He actually does have a bit of damage as well as Scout on the Galio.
As Meiko's going to start the engage. Call the Forge God actually lines up. Oh my god! Suning have walked into this. They're dead. That's it. huanfeng, join your makers. Because that wombo comes alive when you're sandwiched together.
That wombo was absolutely beautiful. I am also completely wrong. EDG do have the damage to take out Suning in this front-to-back team fight. Also feels good when you get on top of all 3 of Suning's carries. So that's probably a big factor in as well. And this is going to guarantee 2 objectives for the side of EDG.
At the same time, at the very least, and SwordArt and SofM around the wall, they have been spotted out. SofM goes on in. A good hook with the box down as well. Protobelt and Jiejie's like, do we care about this? It is stolen away, but SofM, as he gets the Mountain Soul for the side of Suning, might not matter because Baron's going down.
I mean, you have a permanent shield as compared to EDG, who are going to get a temporary Baron.
That's true. And we talked about lack of damage, right?
In
the late game.
I mean, yeah, I feel like we're, after seeing that last fight, I feel like we're very, very, very far off from the point where EDG have to worry about damage. But still, they do have a gold lead, very slightly actually. But gonna try and get into these siege positions with this Baron.
So what happened here? Because this was Meiko starting.
Well, okay, so what happens here? We see that Dredge line hitting, and then once again, just all of them able to get on top of the 3 carries, right? They kill Scout right away. They lock huanfeng into the Cataclysm as well because he didn't have Flash. That was pretty much as perfect of a, like, cluster that Suning gave you as could have been possible.
You don't say that every day, huh? I guess it'll take a little bit longer now that we shouldn't go over the importance of stealing away the Mountain Soul from SofM. Of course, Jiejie did back away at that moment. Stealing away the Mountain Soul means you can't give any of these stats towards the Ornn. Sure, EDG were looking forward to getting 4 Mountain Dragons.
True, they can't, right? Can't even get one.
It might not matter if Angel gets caught out, but a great Dark Passage until Meiko's spotted out. Bin is over the wall, absorbs the damage a little bit here with the Mountain Soul, but Scout's found him. SwordArt is dead. There's no neutral objectives available. They have the Baron, and SwordArt is dead for 30 seconds.
And once again, just Suning looking quite lost. And now they just kind of have to wait out these Barons, except the push that EDG are going to do. They're going to be able to force, I'd say probably at least 3 turrets, right? The outer bot lane turret, as well as both inner turrets in mid and bot. They might be able to force an inhibitor because with all their engaged, they can dive.
If huanfeng dies, he can. Depth charge and kill. Here comes the hero's entrance right on top of the turret. Is into the backline. It's been an SofM now. They've got the damage source of EDG, but the tanks at this point have hit their mid-game stride. They don't die, and they send out a lot themselves. Call the Forge God gets a double-man knock-up, and here we go. We need to see how long it takes to kill, as SofM will get the trade alongside Angel onto Meiko, but EDG want to kite this one back. Angel and SwordArt live with Bin skirmishing in front. That's a trade. It's even. The fight stopped there.
The fact that it's a 2-for-2 and you're behind is Suning, it's good, but at the same time, you took out Hope, and you're still not coming out on top of these skirmishes. We're still not at that 3-item point for Aphelios, and we even saw Bin doesn't even have 2 completed items. Actually, Meiko just hitting another great hook. Meiko's Nautilus and Set have just looked so well on these engages. It's great by Bin and SofM being able to coordinate that engage and delete Hope, but now we're just not in a position where they can come out ahead in this fight. We see Bin getting locked down, has to rush out, now has no cooldowns, and Angel just trying to play around the outskirts of this fight because if he does get CC'd, you know, he's still a squishy Syndra, so can get blown up.
As the Spellbinder as well, just to add. I believe he's had that for a while. I want to bring us back because after that fight, I'm looking towards timers in the top left and top right. Baron expires, and Suning finding that trade. On top of that, they deny the Baron push. So the game goes on into a game that you talked about how it will look in the later portions with the 1 damage source from EDG. She also mentioned before we're quite a while away from that, but we're getting closer.
Yeah, but we're also seeing the pitfalls of the lack of front line for Suning. Though as Bin gets more and more items, right, he is going to function as a sort of like pseudo-sustain tank. You're going to have the Zhonya's as well to buy time. Obviously, we know the Kingslayer buys you so much time as well, gaining so much HP back. both fights from Suning, though, we saw huanfeng get jumped on at the very start both times.
Yeah.
So EDG so far just being on point. They do have a ton of engage, all right? That's something that you can't question. Call of the Forge God, Jarvan, Galio combo, as well as the depth charge coming out from the Nautilus.
I guess huanfeng needs to realize if one ult doesn't land on him, the other three probably will.
It also tells us how important his flash is in this game. If EDG ever get a point where they can like force a flight, bait out his flash, just back off and then wait to re-engage, that's still a win.
This does feel like it may be a QSS game, though, for the auto attack from Meiko, from the shield of Duran from Scout. Also, with the knock-up, it's QSS and Flash, isn't it? Yeah. So, potential to do that with the depth charge as well. huanfeng is doing a lot of damage as well, so if he stops in these fights, potential for EDG to continue forward and find a window in this game. We're at even gold. Turret goes down 28 minutes in. Elder's up in a minute.
Exactly. So we're going to be at a point where, once again, teams cannot ignore each other. We're going to have to fight for this objective, and ultimately, this next fight will probably decide the game.
All right. Got 50 seconds for the potential for a 30-minute game.
And once again, for Suning, we got to keep our eyes on, I feel like Bin is the most core member since he really is that carry that can get on the backline, but we already saw that dive squad with him and SofM jumping onto Hope. And for EDG, it's can Meiko either land another like god hook, or can they just get that combo off onto huanfeng? Because we've seen every time if he's deleted at the beginning of the fight, they don't have enough damage to kill out the tanky members of EDG. At
the very least, finding Elder and then taking the fight, even with the tanks as
Whoa!
Hope almost dies. Heals to survive.
That's massive, actually. The fact that Angel wasted his flash and ultimate. Hope's going to be full HP again in 2 seconds.
Thanks to Death's Dance, call the Forge God for the re-engager. Onto huanfeng yet again. The depth charge now used. He gets SofM, he gets the healing, but he doesn't survive the True Shot Barrage. Hero's entrance and EDG pick off the AD carrier Suning in front of Elder now spawning.
3 times in a row, huanfeng dies at the very start of the fight.
And now SofM, he's on the escape path. He only just gets out with the burrow, but Bin looking for the re-engage. Depth charge onto Hope, but yet again, he's at full health. The engage started by Bin, but he's in the middle. He'll go golden, but I think he's just going to die as he comes on out. The Kingslayer ain't enough. Suning, what are you doing?
EDG are going to take this now because Bin would have had to play that more patiently and you try to...
Okay, well, you know what? SwordArt's dead here as well. Give it over to Hope. And yet again, for SofM, walking into the pit, but Aodi survives. And EDG with 5 are going to get the Elder and potentially take it to the game.
Now it doesn't even feel like that Mountain Soul matters at all, right? You're going to have this execution, so we need to see EDG be very proactive in these next few minutes and actually force a fight, which they've been doing, right? They've been forcing fights pretty much off cooldown for the past 10 minutes.
We didn't get to see it here in the replay, but Hope was like 1 hit away. I will say for Angel, that's so annoyingly close.
Okay, it was annoyingly close, but at the same time, how many times are we going to see huanfeng get caught out walking too far forward when Angel had just blown everything? So it's not like you're going to be able to posture for a fight regardless. Angel had just blown flash and ultimate. 2 massive cooldowns. You really need that if you're going to guarantee blowing up Hope in a team fight. So just a lot of mistakes on the side of Suning. Also, we had this Rek'Sai in the early game. Didn't see really any action.
He got 1 kill. As Meiko, into the wall. We're close here, but remember, we've got the Elder. If Suning fight here, probably just going to die as Bin's going to steal away the Call the Forge God. Aodi's is better being 2 levels up, and Scout is ready to flank.
Rek'Sai is not a champion anymore at this point in the game.
Oh, he's not. Oh, the Tremor Sensors land. Now, they know he's there. The thing is, if they can get Scout, maybe something happens. A death sentence! SwordArt predicts where Scout's going to go. He's in the middle of 5. Scout of the Week is not going to land because he flashes away while EDG look for the re-engage. Still with Elder. Bin uses his Call of the Forge God. Suning at full health still while they poke down Hope. That won't matter. They need the execution.
And SofM kind of making a mistake, tunneling right over into the hole of EDG, having to flash out right away.
That was so sick from SwordArt. They were so close. As huanfeng, he's actually going to be tagging Meiko in the back of the pit here. He's got the AoE. He's got the Moonlight Vigil. Hits everyone yet again. Suning have gotten them low, but now the real Call the Forge God in the back of the pit. SofM steals away the Baron. Ultis into the back. He can die here. It doesn't matter. They've got the Baron. Bin's in as well. Tries to get over. He blunders too. It's 2 for the cost of the steal. They slow down EDG.
And EDG are so low, if they actually had health bars, they'd probably just be able to try to force an inhibitor or even an end with 40-second death timers in their composition, which can very easily dive, but huge hero play coming out from SofM after, again, making a big no-no with this tunnel. We do see him go in here, and just great smite coming from him. Is going to go down. Bin tries to buy time. He tries to get to the lantern right here. Flashes a bit too late after Wing in to try and gain some health back. But maybe if he didn't W, he would have died, so kind of understandable.
Edge of Night got in that smite steal. Because Call the Forge God hit SofM when he had the spell shield. That's sick. That item feels like it's changed a lot here in this game. Suning, maybe behind 3k gold, but the Baron...
Think about it, though. Not only that Baron, also going back to the Mountain Soul.
Yeah.
We've had it twice now where SofM is. And that one wasn't necessarily a steal, but it was it was a steal in a sense, right?
He did walk up and say that is mine.
Exactly.
And he did the same thing with the Baron, but just a little bit more aggressively. Is now posturing for a flank with the Mountain Soul sitting on everyone, as we've seen before, with Dragon Elder at that coming up in 2 minutes 30, and a Baron buff sitting at minute 30.
Point out Scout's build and point out that this Galio very much so has damage.
As now we're seeing onto SofM, who's just dead. He steals Baron, then he kind of ints away. 45 seconds on the jungler.
And EDG right now...
Oh no. Cataclysm's there. On forward onto SwordArt. He's going to die as well. The death sentence won't matter because SwordArt is just dead here. That's 2 kills. And Suning in with the Baron buff are going to struggle to defend this.
And we're very clearly being shown that doesn't matter about things like damage. Just Ezreal definitely has enough damage to fight all of the members of Suning.
And he doesn't die on top of that. Call the Forge God from Bin, lined up with the Ornn. Scatter the Wake. Sorry, it is Meiko who gets burnt on down as Abscond Abduct is into the Galio. Scout will escape here, and this is a 34-minute fiasco. Let's just call it that.
I still feel like we're at the point where we're really waiting on Bin to get more items before Suning can really play this game any more proactively or aggressively than they've been doing. We're actually still not at a completed 3rd item for Bin. We've been here for the past 10 minutes.
Has he gotten any CS whatsoever?
Doesn't look like it, right? We see 340 on Angel, 370 on huanfeng, so Bin has been the one having to give up CS for his teammates.
Meanwhile, just keep track of where Hope is at this point in time. He's got 4 items. And also with the Frozen Fist that he's had for a while. So big Ezreal. And of course, you talked about the Galio damage with the Magi's. It's massive. But I want to focus on the Elder coming up in 50 seconds, Lyric. Suning are posturing aggressively. They're looking for a pick. They're controlling vision. And EDG are only just coming back out on the map.
But Hope has a lot of protection. Still has Flash. Of course, has his E up. Also has the stopwatch, right, on top of all the defenses he's getting from, obviously, the go-to Ezreal build now. He even just finished his Jiejie. So stopwatch obviously now gone, but going to have that revive.
So he's full build.
Yes, he is.
Hope is ready to go. As Teleport's going to be used by Bin, and this next fight could finish this series.
No, this next fight will finish this series.
That's some confident language used.
I've used it a lot, and I've been wrong most of the time. So.
Hero's entrance stolen by Bin. Huanfeng's shield is larger than the Earth itself.
Scout gonna put some pressure in the mid lane, though. Does have that ultimate to follow up any fight that does break out.
But Elder's gonna be started here. And Lyric, I'm going to take the wheel if that's okay, because we're at 7k here. The Dredge Line land. It's a double heroes entrance. Sylas and the Galio landing on top of each other into the pit. Look at the Dragon as into Jiejie again. It's a messy fight. Who's going to get it? It's Ezreal. Oh my god. Time to nerf another champion in League of Legends. The execution there. And EDG with Hope. It's always Hope. Secure this game number 3 and the rest of the bloodshed soon to come. A Justice Punch, a Shield of Duran, an Execution, and EDG executes Suning.
And I was actually completely wrong. Every member of EDG jumping onto huanfeng and then Suning are the ones shown to have no damage, and they're going to lead this very slow series to a win.
A 22-5 kill win. An EDG win that I don't know how you conclude this series, Lyric, but a win's a win for EDG. And when everything goes awry, just remember, you've always got hope.
I know how you feel. I feel mentally broken after that one as well.
I couldn't follow that fight whatsoever. Everyone was in the pit.